This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV.
It's Thankful Thursday, a pause in the chaos to notice what still holds up, keeps us going, or surprised us this week in the best way. Gratitude lives here. It's
A boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling when she hits go live, everybody feels it.
Hello, hello. It's Thankful Thursday. You know, we're slowing things down just a little and stepping into one of those family crossroads where time, memory, and hurt all pile up in the same room. These are the stories that don't just live in the moment, they're told. They've been growing quietly for years, sometimes even decades, until one event finally forces everything into the light. Today's question sounds simple on the surface, but it carries a whole history underneath it. So I guess we're just going to jump right into it today because, quite honestly, this one's kind of crazy, but it'll make you thankful that your problems aren't so bad, too. It's true. All right, so here we go. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my half-sister any of our grandmother's jewelry after they excluded me for years? Now, don't worry, there's gratitude here. All right, so. Oop, there we go. Still working this stuff out, y'all. So inheritance stories always land a little heavier, I think, than people really expect to. They aren't really about objects. They're about who was seen, who was left out, who left loved, who didn't. And whether the past ever actually stays in the past, when something valuable shows up on the table, jewelry becomes symbolic fast. It turns into proof of belonging, proof of connection, proof that someone mattered. Okay. And when families already have fractures, half siblings, second marriages, old rivalries, long silences, those symbols can definitely hit like lightning rods. So this is Thankful Thursday. So we're going to look at this through that lens too. Gratitude versus entitlement. Okay. What does gratitude look like when someone comes back into your life after years of distance? What does entitlement look like when people believe bloodline alone should erase history, right? And what happens when the person holding the heirlooms is the same person who remembers being shut out and overlooked or even treated like an afterthought while everyone else carried on? So as we go through to this today, I want you listening not just to what the writer says, but to what's been between the lines the whole time. Who was showing up for whom? Who stopped calling first and who was invited and who wasn't? Who stayed quiet to keep the peace and who decided peace wasn't worth the silence anymore? Because most family conflicts, they don't explode out of nowhere. They simmer, they stalk, they wait for the right trigger. Now, this is not a cooking show. Pardon me. Sorry, had to have my water. It's something like the grandmother's jewelry collection, right? That's exactly the kind of spark that can absolutely light a whole room on fire. We're going to read the story carefully, piece by piece, as we have been doing. After I say hello to Tucker. Hello, Tucker. Thank you for being here. So we'll look at years of exclusion. Okay, the timing of the request, the expectations that suddenly appeared after the loss, and the decision to say no. Because sometimes saying no isn't about punishment. Sometimes it's about drawing a line that should have been drawn a long time ago. And sometimes it really is about protecting yourself from reopening wounds you already worked hard to survive. So settle in with me today. Get comfortable, grab your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever it is. Pardon me, because I'm going to take a drink. My cup hums. So if you hear that, that's what it is. I'll remind you later. Keep the chat warm for me, would you guys, please? Hi, Tucker. Good to see you. Y'all come in and say hi to Tucker for me, okay? When we reach those turning points, I'm going to pause and ask you what you would do in the same position. I would love it if you put it in the chat for me. Would you share this anyway, hoping it resets the relationship? Would you hold your ground? Maybe split things evenly just to keep the family from fracturing further? Or does fairness change when history hasn't been fair? That's where we're headed. AITA for refusing to give my half sister any of our grandmother's jewelry after they excluded me, for years. Let's walk through it together. Hello, Joseph Arnold. Very good to have you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let me grab my script here because I've got to read this in big form. I'm old and that's how it works. All righty, here we go. So we've already read this. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my half-sister any of our grandmother's jewelry after they excluded me for years? Okay, so this starts out. For context, I, 24 female, am the product of an affair. Read it right, Charlene. Boss B, that's me. My father was married when I was born, and his marriage fell apart because of it. Oh. I got some new toys too. I forgot to mention. I have a little reaction myself. You guys forgive me. I'm playing today because I've discovered all kinds of neat things to play with. So my dad eventually divorced his now ex-wife and his 3 kids. My half siblings, 32 female, 30 male, 28 male, have always resented me for it. I understand what happened between our parents was messy and destroyed their happy family, but I was just a baby and they've punished me for it my whole life. Ouch. Okay, that opening, let's start here. It plants a hard truth, right? Being born from betrayal doesn't make someone responsible for it. Get that through, okay? Because I kind of understand this. Not betrayal, but the situation with the siblings, okay? The siblings' resentment, it makes emotional sense, but directing it at the child is misdirected grief. That's not her fault. So what jumps out in how long this has lasted, a lifetime of being treated as the symbol instead of a person, builds a very different kind of boundary muscle. That matters later because when we grow up having to earn basic acceptance, they don't hand pieces of themselves over easily when the family finally comes knocking. So again, one of my new toys, we're giving this part a stinger, because we're talking about born from betrayal, a lifetime of being treated poorly and growing up. They excluded me from everything. Okay. That's what she's saying here. So, yeah, growing up, they excluded me from everything. They didn't want me around, made cruel comments when I was, and acted like I didn't exist unless they were making me feel unwelcome. The worst part was when my mom passed away when I was only 19. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hello, Jacob. Good to have you. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much for commenting in here too. I appreciate it. Please hit that like button for me. That would really help out a lot. Okay, so while I was mourning my mother's death, they openly celebrated. Oh. Tracy doll. Hello, beautiful. Hello, sweet lady. How are you, honey? I miss you. I'm so happy to see you. I was just talking about you yesterday or last night, I think, with Big Jack, talking about how awesome your channel has become, lady. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. That is so awesome. Monetized. Y'all get over there and see her. Look, this is my bestest friend on YouTube right here. Tracy's Local Learnings. Y'all need to get over there and check her out because she has got the goods on medicinals. And let me tell you, I've tried so many and I feel so much better. Look at me. I feel better. Okay, back to our story. I found out they made jokes about how the trash took itself out and threw a party less than a month after the funeral to celebrate it. Oh my goodness. You're not monetized, not fully though, right? Partially though, right? I thought I saw you say that you were partially monetized, almost fully monetized. It's still monetized, baby girl. Hold your hope out. We're trying to get those numbers in for you. I keep putting TVs on. I love you, baby girl. Y'all go watch her stuff. She needs this more than I do. She's awesome. We'll work on that, honey. You just started a new phase. That's all it is. We're going to work on it because mine dropped fast too. That's also because of the first of the year and the way they calculate them. So it's going to be okay. I promise you, baby girl. I promise. We're going to work on that. We're going to help you out. I'm going to let Big Jack know. I'm going to let Mama Lions know. And anybody in this chat right now, please go check out Tracy's Local Learnings. I am not playing. She's got the most awesome videos on medicinals and just even helping you learn how to do your own gardens because, oh my God, if you would see her garden, y'all got to get over there and look because, man, I'm so jealous. And let me tell you something, dandelions are my favorite thing because of her. And if I could just go and visit her one time and pick some from her yard, I'd be a happy camper. I certainly would because as big as my hand. You see my hand? You see my hand as big as my hand in her yard. Heck yeah. I love you, girl. Y'all get over there. All right, so they're celebrating here. Oh my God. Des, hey, there you are. Good to see ya. All right, so that broke me. Hey, y'all get over there. Get over there and see Des too. Man, you know what? I've got like 3 recycling piles right now just of stuff that I've cleaned out of my garage. Des, you're the best. You're the best. I'm about to go to the junkyard and everything. I'm going. I'm telling you. You know what? And I ain't going to be ashamed of it. I used to love driving through the rich neighborhoods around here and just picking up whatever they thought was trash and selling that stuff. You know what? Let's do this. I love secondhand stuff. And if you don't, well, let me tell you, you're not part of this crowd because we don't stand upon ceremony here. If it's reusable, we reuse it. Right, Des? Okay, so she says, let's get back to this part. That broke me, and I've been no contact with them for years over it. Okay, years of no contact over this mess. I don't blame you, sweet girl. I don't blame you. No. This is where it crosses from cold to cruel, if you ask me. Secondhand, firsthand. That's right. You know what? This is how you do second hand. This is your second hand. This is your first hand. Grab a hold and hold on tight. Fix it and sell it. Thank you, Des, for being here listening. Love you, man. Okay, so this is where it crosses. Okay, from cold to cruel is what I'm saying. Exclusion is one thing. Okay, completely one thing. Mocking someone while they're grieving a parent is something else entirely. That's not unresolved hurt anymore. That's active hostility. Hello. Oh, thank you, Jacob. Thumbs up. Thank you, Jacob. Celebrating a death, throwing a party, turning someone's loss into a punchline. That permanently changes how safe a family feels. Don't you think? So going no contact, after something like that isn't traumatic. It's protective, if you ask me. It's protective. That's the way I'm going to see that. When people show you that level of contempt, distance becomes survival, not spike. Okay, so we're definitely going for a stinger with this one. They didn't just exclude her. They celebrated her pain. Okay? They celebrated this child's pain. Why? Why is that okay? No. Mm-mm. Okay, so our shared grandmother wasn't much better. She wasn't outright cruel to me. But she clearly favored my half siblings. I understand that. They spent vacations and summers with her while she barely acknowledged me. But she also made it known on more than one occasion that she wanted her jewelry to go to my oldest half sister, 32 female. When she passed away, the oldest female grandchild in the family, since she never had any daughters of her own, it was well established to everyone that knew her that this was her intention. However, she didn't leave a notarized will. So legally, her estate went to my dad as her only child. Okay. So I think this one adds another layer. Another big layer, don't you think? Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, no, it's cute, ain't it? Forgive me. I'm stupid like that. I'm giddy. I've learned new things. So this adds the layer of quiet favoritism. And, that can cut just as deep as loud cruelty when it goes on for years. Being tolerated while watching everyone else get chosen leaves marks. It very much does. And I can tell you, as an older sibling, there are occasions where I don't feel like I'm in the right place. And it's not anybody's fault, really. I'm not saying that anybody's cruel to me or in any way like this, but sometimes I feel out of place. And that goes with the territory because, my mom and dad, they split up when I was 4 years old. It was a very, well, I don't know. My brother, I was 8 years old, I think, when he was born. So 4 years later, my dad got remarried, had 3 more kids. Yeah, I'll get into this story just a little bit to give you some context for me too. My dad has been married 4 times. He has had children by 3 of those marriages. Me with my mother. Right, Tracy? Me with my mother. Then his second marriage, he had 3. My brother, who's the oldest, and then 2 sisters. And then he got married a 3rd time, and he had 2 more girls, both of which are younger than my children. Sucks being the older child sometimes, but it gives you a unique perspective too, right? Because, yeah, I have 2 sisters that my children call aunt, and there's a huge age gap. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with that at all. I love my family. I love my sisters. I love my brother. I have 1 brother. There's 6 of us total. I'm the oldest. He's the next. And then sisters. Okay. And that's okay. That's great. I love that I have such a big family. And I'm okay with everyone. Yes, oldest. But I was my mother's only. So I'm an only child too. Different dynamic. But when my grandmother, who I knew longer than my siblings, passed away, I didn't get anything. I did get to be there, thankfully. I didn't want anything, really. I did ask for one thing. It was something I had given her the Christmas before, but I still have things that she gave me, So it's a totally different dynamic. She gave me a globe, and I'm going to date myself here, but we all know I'm old. She gave me a globe when I was a teenager that still had USSR on it. It's packed away in my attic so that nothing happens to it. But that thing, will go to my grandchildren one of these days when I'm gone because it has a lot of sentimental value. This thing was probably a $5 Walmart trick, but that's okay. It doesn't matter how much it costs. First of all, with having the USSR on there, it's probably going to be worth something. Not that that matters. What's worth it to me is that my grandmother, I knew her. I have memories of sitting with her, watching Price is Right and all that, you know? Yes, very much sentimental value. And you know what? That's the way it's supposed to be. And in this situation, it doesn't seem to me like she had a very good relationship with her grandmother. So I'm not really sure which way to go with this, honey or stinger, right? And how, you know, we've got a complication in the grandmother's, pardon me, I'm hitting buttons here. In the grandmother's stated wishes versus what was legally written down. Okay, intent, paperwork, they're not the same thing. Very sentimental. And families get wrecked in that gap, okay? I got kind of wrecked when I asked for one little thing and didn't get it because I really thought that I would, being that it was just a few months after Christmas and I'd just given it to her. And I was told it was there for me, but things happen and I understand, and I never really questioned it, you know, because I did still have that globe, and I did have the memory that, you know, when Cabbage Patch Dolls came out, I was like 12, 13 years old, and dads don't think that teenage girls like dolls. But it wasn't about the doll. It was about who was giving it to me, because I wanted to be daddy's little girl forever, right? We all do. So that point, you know, to that value, the fact that my grandmother told my dad, look, I don't care how old she is, you get her that doll. And I got that doll. I still have that doll. You know, it's crazy. But I still have these things. So I can be thankful for that later. But when it's got a dynamic like this, where she really wasn't part of it, that's got to be harsh, if you ask me. And because once someone dies, memory and expectation, you know, it starts competing with law. And whoever holds assets suddenly becomes the villain, right? I learned that when my mother passed. And here's the hard part about that. I'm an only child. I don't have brothers and sisters. But I did have a person that was trying to take the house from us, from my children, who my mother legally left it to. Not legally. I won't get into that story. But anyway, the point was, that's what my mother wanted, and that's what my mother got. This house is still in my children's name. That's where it's going to stay. And I'm taking care of it to make sure that it stays there when they're ready to take over. That's what we do. She didn't have this dynamic, though, right? She didn't have the option of being her grandmother's favorite. Grandmother, I mean, from the sound of it, didn't know a whole lot about her. So, even if they don't design the situation, that person becomes the villain. And favoritism in life, chaos and death. You know, ow, that's rough. And I can't imagine what this child is thinking right now. That's not the right one. And that's probably not it either. Ha ha. See, I'm still learning. I'm here. Okay. Now, to my shock, my dad gave the entire jewelry collection to me. Wow. There's a dynamic. What? So he said he regretted how I'd been treated by the family and wanted me to have something meaningful. Okay, nice. So it was the first time he had ever done something to truly acknowledge me. And I was floored. Oh, honey, I'm kind of floored myself, tell you the truth. Yeah, I'm pretty floored too. That moment really matters, okay? Because this isn't just about jewelry anymore. This is about a parent finally choosing the child who spent years on the margins. After a lifetime of being overlooked, that kind of recognition lands heavy, don't it? It feels corrective. It feels overdue. And when something arrives wrapped in an apology and validation, people don't experience it as a gift. Not really. They experience it as proof that they finally mattered. That's not just a gift, right? That's not just a gift. And you know what? I'm going to do it because for this one alone, honey, honey, it's got to be honey. It's got to be honey. You know, I love my honey. This is honey day. We're having some honey. You know, it's not just jewelry, it's recognition. And now, I think, yeah, my half siblings are furious. Of course they are, especially my oldest half sister. Of course she is. She's demanding I give her some of the jewelry, claiming that since she was closer to our grandmother and she had always intended for her sister, the sister, to have it, it's unfair that I kept it all. How is that unfair? Okay, yes. See, thank you. You get it. Yeah, you have to let me get through. I'm terrible ADHD, so my points take a second. Sorry, Des. So it's unfair that I kept it all. She said she even said I wasn't really part of the family. Ow, bitch. Pardon the language, but bitch. That's why she don't deserve it, y'all. And has been calling me selfish and accusing me of stealing what was rightfully hers. Oh, that was not yours, honey. That was not yours. No, it was not. No. Dad did good. Okay. Dad gets all the honey. Oh, I'm so glad you're following. I'm trying to. So now the pressure arrives, right? Framed as fairness, history, and what grandma would have wanted. But notice how fast it slides into gatekeeping, questioning her place in the family, calling her selfish, accusing her of theft. That language isn't about compromise. It's about control. When people feel entitled, you know how I feel about those kinds. They don't negotiate. They delegitimize. Okay. And that's important because it tells you whether this is really about honoring a grandmother or reclaiming a hierarchy that never included her. No, stinger on that one because fairness talk, okay, followed by family erasure. Oh my gosh. Look, I've even got one for that. Okay. And this is the one I call cringe because, oh my gosh. Are you kidding me right now? I just want to jump through the screen again. Cringe. Oh my goodness. No. You got to be kidding me. Look. Okay. I refused. I told her that. Oh, thank you, baby girl. Thank you. I refused. Thank you. I told her that after years of being treated like garbage, I'm not giving up the one thing that my dad has ever done to acknowledge me. She accused me of being bitter and petty, saying I'm using this to punish them for things that happened years ago. Yeah. That one right there is my what the fork look. Can't help it. Look, here's the pivot. Okay, she isn't talking about money or gemstones anymore. She's talking about meaning. That jewelry represents the only time her father publicly chose her. So the refusal isn't revenge, it's protection of something emotional. And when people get told no, they often reframe boundaries as bitterness. Calling someone petty is a classic way to dodge accountability for the history that made the boundary necessary. Okay. not revenge. A boundary built from years. Years. Oh my gosh. I just want to jump through the screen, y'all. So I'll admit, part of me feels like I'm getting some compensation for their horrible treatment of me. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But the other part of me wonders if I'm being petty or cruel by keeping it all when the others were so much closer to her. No, no. Am I the AITA? No, no. Did you hear that? No, you're not. Oh my God. That last line. Karma. Yes, there you go, Des. That last line is honest and important. Okay, she admits there's a piece of vindication in this, but she's also questioning herself instead of doubling down. That's not how villains usually talk. That's not how they work. No is a full answer. Yes, thank you. Absolutely, Tracy. That is exactly a full answer. And oh my gosh, what she's really weighing isn't jewelry. It's justice versus generosity, closure versus reopening wounds, and whether being hurt in the past gives you the right to hold something in the present. Okay, the fact that she's even asking tells you she's trying to act from principle, not just pain. Okay, so no, absolutely not. We are going, oh my gosh, for a total stinger here, because look, justice or pettiness after years of hurt, that's what we're equating this to? Please, people, hold me back. I'm about ready to scream. I don't get people like that. Entitlement pisses me off. Forgive me again. You know, I'm an adult here. But this pisses me off. It does to no end, because come on. This person is a human being, and what you're doing now, even after all that you've done already? Really? All right, y'all. I need a break. I need to drink more water, not alcohol, even though I wouldn't mind one right now, and I'm not a drinker. But I'm going to let y'all listen to this cool song for about 4 minutes, and I'll be right back. I love you all. Tracy, Des, everybody that's here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Jacob, you too. Honey, you too. I mean, you guys are awesome. I've seen you in here more than once, and that to me just means that, hey, my stories are getting kind of good. I love you guys. I'll be right back.
She came from the quiet storms, built a fire from the ground, turned a whisper to a warning. Now her voice shakes the town. Every setback was a lesson, every doubt became a key, unlocking something bigger. That's the rise of boss B. When the lights go low, her vision hits high. She built a whole damn network off a promise and a try. Every sunrise, every moment, she's stacking legacy. This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV. A boss B rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss B rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's the queen of the comeback, the storm in the stream, crafting stories out of heartbeats, making visions out of dreams. Got thunder in the hustle, got a voice that cuts clean. Every mic she touches turns the power unseen. So let brothers spin the numbers, let the views rise slow or fast. Boss B doesn't measure wins by echoes of the past. This moment is a pivot, this season's history. Bow down to the founder of the BBTV dynasty. Boss B rising, BBTV And the world keeps watching as the numbers climb, but she's counting all the moments, not the dollar signs. From the late night grind to the daylight scene, she's building something bigger than the algorithm's dream. Boss be rising, BBTV shining, her story's rewriting, a legacy in real time. Boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dreams, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. BBTV, where the stories breathe. BBTV, where the dreamers believe. Boss be rising, watch her take her place. This is BBTV, this is her grace.
Join Boss B for Ask a Bee Monday through Friday, 12 noon Central Standard Time and Jukebox Journey every Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Y'all, that song just makes me happy. Thank you for all the compliments. Absolutely. Goosebumps, good words, lyrics on point, nice. A thumbs up and heartsies. Yes. I'll take them. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, I did write that one. No, I did not sing it. I'm still too shy. But I did write it. I put it in Suno. I will give credit where credit is due. Suno is a great AI song maker. And while I'm still trying not to use AI too much, because yeah, it is a little bit scary, it does have some good sides. So thank you so much for loving that song. You know, I appreciate it, because just like it says, this is my grace. And I've met so many wonderful people here. And y'all noticed also, I had to promo my wonderful partner in crime here on YouTube and the Iron Sharpening Iron Universe. It's amazing. It's expanding. And I invite all of you to get over there and check it out, because Big Jack and Mama Lions and me and Walt, we are doing something big for 2026, and you need to be a part of it. So let's get back to our story, since we're about halfway through now. There was some segments that I've added that were there. It's called ETA. It's edited to add due to, and this is where it starts. Let me get back over here. Okay, I think we are at this one. No, I'm gonna have to go through these. Give me a second. I'm so sorry. Yep. Nope, that's not it either. I'm terrible at this. It's supposed to be 12. Anyway. So, yeah, I know what I did. That's stupid. Here it is. I need a break, apparently. So, edited to add due to some people making assumptions. Y'all know what I say about assumptions. They make an ass out of you and me. That was a very good line from a very good man I've known. half my life. Okay. So edited to add to some people making assumptions about my mother. She did not know my father was married originally. They married after my father's divorce because at the time, my mother could not support the two of us by herself, and being an unmarried pregnant woman was a major cultural taboo for her. Okay. That makes sense, right? So my father spent a majority of his time home when he actually bothered to come at all, trying to make it up to his children, my half siblings, when it was his time with custody. As far as I am aware, my mother never treated them poorly. They tended to ignore her, and she did the same when they were around our house. Okay, that sounds like, I guess, it seems reasonable, I suppose. I mean, I can understand the hardships, but ignoring them maybe not is the best. Being cordial, being civil, I think would be the better remedy, right? Okay, so this clears a major assumption off the table, I think. Maybe, I hope. Her mother wasn't knowingly participating in an affair. Okay, this is on the dad. We get this, right? I'm mad at the dad. Okay, that's who I'm mad at. And the marriage, okay, it came later under pressure and circumstance, not really deception. It also shifts more responsibility back where it belongs, don't you think, on the dad? He was trying to repair damage with older kids, but it sounds like that effort never extended equally to her. And that imbalance matters because when parents overcorrect in the direction another child quietly grows up under chosen. So, Stanger here on the dad's behalf, right? Because the affair narrative fades. The father's imbalance, it steps forward. I think he needs to do this for himself more than he does for his daughter. And that's what I have a problem with it. Okay. I have a very big problem with that because I think he's feeling what he should have done before, but it's almost too late, don't you think? So, update, please. See, here I go again. There it is. Update. First, I want, an update. I should have said that first. I'm too confused. I need to worry about this later. Sorry. So first, I want to thank everyone for the responses, advice, and support. I never expected this post to gain so much attention, and it's been overwhelming, but also incredibly validating to know that many of you understand where I'm coming from. Sure, we understand. Absolutely, we understand. I mean, no, it's not perfect situation. I don't know everything, but that tone tells you something shifted here, right? In the update already, being heard is doing real work on her. Okay. When someone who's been minimized for years suddenly feels understood, it steadies them. And validation, it doesn't make decisions for you, but it gives you footing to stand on the one you already made, right? Yeah. Tracy likes that one. 100%. That's right. Absolutely. I think I'm still singing a stinger here for the dad, but some honey for being believed, I guess. And I think it changes how steady a person really feels. I really do. And I'm glad that has helped. After reading, it's good that you go back and you read through these comments because some of them make a little bit of sense. Yes, some are harsh, but you can skip over those. You can't believe everything everybody says, but you can take the parts of things that you see are a good reflection and put them together and use them for your own. That's what I think Reddit has become. And quite frankly, I'm happy to be able to go over there and find some stories like this to share with you, because there are people out there that have this kind of situation too, right? I mean, I know I have, being the oldest of 6 total. And it's hard because I want to be more for them, but then I need them to reciprocate, I guess is the good way to put that. So let's see if I'm right here. I got the right one this time. So after reading through the comments and reflecting on everything, I decided to stand firm in my decision to keep the jewelry. This is the first meaningful gesture that my dad has ever made towards me, and I'm not going to give it up. Good for you, honey. Yes, yes, good for you. In fact, you know what? I don't do sounds on here because they scare the crap out of me, but I'm going to do this one. Yes, okay? Don't do that to yourself. You don't have to. Especially to people who have done nothing but make me feel like an outsider my entire life. That's resolve, not spite. She isn't escalating. She's anchoring herself to what the gift represented. And that's recognition and correction. Finally being chosen. After a lifetime of being treated like an outsider, protecting that moment makes sense. Standing firm here reads less like punishment and more like self-respect to me. That calls for some honey, don't you think? That is some major honey to me. Major. It's not retaliation. It's self-respect. At last, because you know she hadn't had that. If ever, she hadn't had it at least in a while. So, yep, here I go messing it up again. Yeah, for greater clarification, the jewelry also represents a greater apology to me. No one had ever apologized for the treatment I faced throughout my entire childhood, even when I chose to cut them off. Not for the constant name calling, not for the actual slurs they would regularly call me, not for the unwanted comments of my weight and how I was a pig, just like my mother. None of it. None of it. Before this is the only apology I've ever received, even tangent. Yeah, I can't say that word. Okay, relating to my childhood. And yes, I am very aware of how bitter I sound here. That doesn't sound bitter. Hi, Patty friend. Good to see you, honey. Much love. I love you, doll. Another one of my besties in here. You know, it's a good day. So that reframes everything. This isn't about heirlooms, right? That's not what it's about anymore. It's about the absence of accountability. Come on. Years of slurs, body shaming, cruelty, and not a single apology when somebody finally offers something that feels like recognition of harm. It can stand in for the apology that never came. And noticing her own bitterness doesn't weaken her point. I don't call it bitterness, but I think it shows self-awareness, not malice. Maybe that's the point I'm trying to make. This is not malicious bitterness. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it tastes bad in the mouth, but this is honey, not for the jewelry, for the first apology she ever got. And it may be the only one she ever gets again. And you got to be thankful for that. That's where the gratitude in today's story is because it doesn't have to be something huge to be thankful for it, right? Or a small gesture can become a huge gesture if you see it in this way. That's crazy. So that said, I didn't want to completely close the door on reconciliation. Ah, yes, baby girl. So I reached out to my dad to discuss everything. Yes, see, that's the best thing you can do right now. I asked him why he gave the jewelry to me and what he thought about the backlash from my half-siblings. Fair questions. He admitted that he regrets how he handled things during my childhood and feels that he prioritized his other kids at my expense. Yes, Dad's getting some honey. Giving me the jewelry was his way of trying to make amends, even if it's late. Yes. Yes. See, this is when we don't have enough honey to put out. So we put this one out, we put this one out, we put this one out, we put this one. Come on. That's the first direct accountability we've heard from anyone in this family. He names the imbalance. He admits he chose differently back then. And the jewelry becomes intentional, not accidental, not legit default, but a delayed attempt to repair something he knows he broke. Yeah. Yeah. That's this one. Oh, yeah. Look, that matters, okay? When you're deciding whether keeping it is wrong. And it's not wrong. So, honey, for dad, a late apology finally spoken out loud. Okay? This was said out loud. That meant even more. He could say that all day in a text. He could say it over the phone, but saying it to her face, come on, that's amazing. Let me see if I got this right, because I just went and messed it all up again. I also told him about how my half siblings were treating me now and the things that they had said about my mom in the past. He was upset and said he would speak to them about their current behavior. Though that wasn't my intention, and I doubt it will make much of a difference. Yeah. Unfortunately, I hate that for you, but at least he's acknowledging it. And this really, on your behalf, honey. Restraint. That's what you're showing. She didn't run to him to escalate. She told him because it mattered. And they were finally having that discussion that they needed to have all these years. And it's not because she wanted a confrontation. And her skepticism is earned. When patterns last decades, one conversation rarely rewrites them, right? It also highlights how late the parental intervention is arriving, which makes that earlier gift feel even heavier. But she's still not trying to start a war. She's just telling the truth. And that's what needs to be said here. Absolutely needs to be said. So as for my half siblings, the situation has only escalated. No. My oldest half sister, 32 female, sent a long message accusing me of being vindictive and selfish, still claiming that I'm taking the jewelry out of spite, which I suppose is partially true. No, it's not. Whoa, no, it's not. That's not spite. There's no spite there. Oh, I hate that word. Okay, she tried to guilt trip me again by bringing up how close she was to our grandmother and how much she wanted these specific pieces to remember her by. I didn't respond, but I saved the messages in case things get worse. That's smart. That's very smart. See, that's one thing I'm I'm dreading it when my father goes. I'm not going to be that older sibling like that. Okay, yes, my father's still alive. He's still in his 70s. And though he's been a skydiver all his life. So there's a lot going on, especially with 6 children. Okay, 4 marriages. And no, he didn't have children with his last marriage, but he is finally happy and I'm happy for him. But here's the thing. The escalation, it keeps leaning on guilt instead of repair. She even concedes a sliver of spite. Pardon me. But notice she still doesn't engage the cruelty that led here. Saving the messages instead of firing back is quiet discipline. That's someone bracing for fallout, not chasing a fight. Okay? So, sister dear, you get a stinger for guilt trips rising. I mean, come on. Silence and receipts instead are much better. I'm proud of you for reacting that way. Because remember what I say, don't react. That's the biggest killer of any kind of relationship, good or bad. Don't react. Think about it first. You'll realize that your reaction or lack thereof hits harder. It really does. Tracy says facts. You know it. You know it. Don't react. Breathe first. It's not hard. Take a breath. Walk away. Come back later if you have to. But don't react immediately. It's never going to be good. Never. All right. So, unexpectedly, my middle half brother, 30 male, reached out privately. He admitted he was wrong for how he treated me in the past and apologized. Oh, at least there's one. He said he doesn't care about the jewelry and just wants to move forward. I told him I appreciated his apology, but I need time to process everything before I can even consider having a relationship with him. Okay, you've earned that, honey. You have earned that. But don't look past it. Okay, brother's getting a little bit of honey for me today because that's the first real olive branch, and it looks different from everything else. No demands, no bargaining, no heirlooms attached, just accountability and a desire to move forward. Her response, it's measured. Appreciation without rushing reconciliation, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Forgiveness, it doesn't have to be immediate to be genuine. So, brother gets a little honey here. Apology without strings. Time before trust. That's awesome. That's awesome. If he complies, of course, I got to get back further in here. So, I'm still no contact with my oldest half sister and youngest half brother at this point. I don't see that changing. That's clarity, not cruelty. Boundaries, they harden, okay? When patterns don't change. Leaving those doors closed isn't punishment. It's information about what still is feeling unsafe. So, honey, some doors stay shut for a reason. To those wondering about the jewelry itself, I've decided to have some of the pieces appraised and restored. I plan to wear a few of them on special occasions and keep the rest stored safely. Amen, sis. They hold sentimental value to me now. That's the biggest, bestest reason out there, okay? Not because my grandmother, but because they represent a step towards my dad finally seeing me as part of the family, even if it's imperfect and overdue. Yes, imperfect and overdue. I hate that for you, but that choice is grounded. She's not liquidating, okay, or flaunting or using it as leverage. She's integrating it into her life in a quiet, personal way. And the meaning has shifted. Not nostalgia for her grandmother, but a marker of belonging from her father. Imperfect, late, still real. So, honey, to all that are working on this, they're not flaunting it, they're claiming it. You get honey for that one, baby girl. So, hey, Tracy, I love you, honey. Thank you. Tracy says 100%. Yep. Honey is a good thing here. And you know what? That's one of my things. We're turning pollen into honey here, as far as I'm concerned. And sometimes you get the stinger, but red flags, green flags. Am I the a-hole? Am I not the a-hole? It's all the same, but it's a different perspective. That's all. All right. So got a few more slides. Just a couple. That said, after speaking, with my middle half brother, I've come to understand most of my half sister's anger and attacks come from a place of grief. As such, I plan to give her my grandmother's favorite pair of earrings. Yes, there's honey here. She wore them constantly, and while I doubt my sister will have any gratitude towards me, I'm sure she'll appreciate the gesture nonetheless. You know what? I appreciate the gesture nonetheless. That's a pivot towards generosity without surrendering the whole ground. She isn't giving into the pressure. She's choosing one piece intentionally, rooted in empathy rather than guilt. That's the important part here. Recognizing that someone else's grief while still protecting what matters to you is a delicate balance. That's agency, not capital. capitulation. I don't know how to say that. What that is good. Okay, that's honey's what it is. Compassion without giving up the whole hill. That's amazing. And I'm so proud of you, honey. That is honey, honey, honey. So thanks again. This whole, for all the support. This whole situation has been messy, but I feel more confident in my decision now. Yes, baby girl. If anything else significant happens, I'll update again. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah. Hey, Sage. I know, honey, I haven't got that email out. All my fault. And I'm so glad that you're here that I can say that to you face to face, because it's been crazy. My granddaughter is on a new schedule and I'm homeschooling her 4 days a week now instead of just 3. And excuse. I promise. I have not ignored my need to get that email out. I promise you. Mwah. I love you, my friend. Okay, so that ending sounds steadier than where we started. Correct, right? Do we agree? Not triumphant, just grounded. She's sitting in her decision instead of spiraling around it, which is usually how you know someone's done the hard thinking already, right? Right? There's some honey there. There's some honey there. It's messy, but finally steady. That's the real win here, correct? It is for me. So, another ETA. The comments have made me realize that I've probably been giving my sister too much benefit of the doubt. While I do want to return the earrings to her, I think I'll offer to let her buy them back instead. Sorry. I shouldn't laugh like that. It's an evil little laugh, but though for the people concerned that letting her take them may incite her to sue me for the rest, I'll see how soon I can speak to a lawyer for a consultation. See, that's what you got to do right now. That's where you're at, honey. That is where you're at. So, yeah. I'm going to go with on that one because, yeah, that was good. Okay. Make her buy them back. Nothing wrong with that. You're giving without needing to. It's a little bit vindictive, maybe a little bitter, but you tried and she just smacked you. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Tracy, very much. So I'd say that's caution kicking in, right? You know, because she's still open to compromise, but now she's pairing empathy with self-protection, changing the terms, thinking legally, slowing the whole thing down. That's what happens when generosity meets real-world risk. You don't stop being kind. You get smarter about how you do it, right? So lots of honey there for compassion, now wrapped with caution. There's nothing wrong with caution in this kind of situation, okay? Oh, my goodness. I'm just, wow. That was one. That was a story. That was a heck of a story. I hope we liked it. I really do. I think Tracy liked this one. I'm liking these stories and I'm liking going over there and finding these stories and being able to share them with you because they've got some life to them, right? So that's actually the end of the story. There's no more updates, but I will be watching for more. If I get some, we will be doing that as a circle back for sure. So, but before we head out today, I want to leave this one sitting exactly where it belongs because not in outrage, okay? Not in applause. We're not applauding judgment here, but in that complicated middle space where family history and self-respect keep bumping into each other. This wasn't really a story about jewelry. It was about being seen after years of being invisible. Some of us can understand that. You know, there's a situation in everybody's life where they just wish that that person would see them a little bit more. And maybe this will bring a little clarity to that because sometimes we feel like we're being cruel and be in the way that we react. But yet again, don't react too much. Boss family, I like that sound of that. That's my honeybees. It's my bee tribe. Love it, Sage. All right. So this was amazing. And about how late apologies still count, but they don't erase what shaped you. Okay. About choosing when to be generous, when to be careful, and when to finally stop negotiating your place in the room. It doesn't have to be that way. Wherever you landed on this, whether you would have shared more, held everything, or walked away entirely, that matters. What matters is that boundaries aren't cruelty. Okay. They're information. And sometimes the bravest thing that you can do is decide your worth does not need to be debated anymore. Now, don't go anywhere just yet. We're about to roll straight into the Tuber Chat promo. And let me tell you, I have fixed it. We no longer say Tuber Chat. Tuber Chat. I love you, my friends. Y'all are amazing. So, where we talk shop, talk growth, talk the real behind the scenes kind of grind of building these channels. Tuber Chat knows about this. Thank you. Thank you, Patty. They're great. I'm loving this. Things have changed, and I don't know, it's just looking good to me right now. These letters, the Reddit stories, everything. I haven't been getting as much letters, so I've been going over to Reddit and grabbing stories from there to use, which is perfectly helpful because, people don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, and at Reddit, they do get into the nitty-gritty, so I get to have more information. So I go over there and I look for the AITA, which means am I the a-hole? And, for my day, it's either AITA for gratitude or AITA for what the fork. But it's working, and these stories are amazing. And I'm so glad to be able to find some honey in some of these stingers, right? So, okay. I do have VB up on board coming up with you right now for not only our new Tuber Chat, but also she tells us a little bit more about Ask a Bee. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day, and know that I'm over here thinking about you. And Sage, I will get that email to you today, sir. I promise. I promise. I'm about to go to work. It may be later this evening, but I am going to set me an alarm on my phone so that I can do that today. I promise. I promise. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.
I want to take a minute to shout out Tuber Chat. If you're a creator who's tired of surface level advice, and actually wants to understand how YouTube works, that's the space. It's real conversations with real creators who are in the trenches building channels, testing ideas. No posturing, no gatekeeping, no fake guru energy, just people sharing what's working, what isn't, and why. If you're serious about growing, learning, and not doing this alone, check out Tuber Chat. The link is in the description. If you're enjoying this show, subscribing is the easiest way to support what's being built here on BBTV. You'll see the join button right next to subscribe. No pressure, no expectations, just an option for people who want to support the channel in a real way. We're live weekdays at 12 p.m. Central, and each day has its own focus. Same honesty, same voice, just different conversations depending on the day. And if you've got a story you want to share, send it in. Anonymous is always fine.